All right, we are live. It's the Spin and Backfist MMA show for Thursday, February 15th, UFC 298 edition. We've got a huge card this weekend. The first card, well, not really. I was going to say the first card in this like 3-card stretch, but it's kind of been a 4-card stretch. Like going back to the Strickland card this year, 2024 has been off to a great start pay-per-view wise. It's Robbie Fox, Big Ev, and Jack Mack as always. And we are presented by New Amsterdam Vodka today. Born from an uncompromising passion for great vodka, while making great vodka is their passion, they're also inspired by those who stay true to who they are, share an unbridled passion for everything they do, from pursuing their dreams, celebrating with friends, having an epic night out. That's why New Amsterdam Vodka is the official vodka of Barstool Sports. Find your wins with New Amsterdam Vodka. I just told Jack we just announced a Pink Whitney Pup Punk Tour.
I was just looking at the Pink Whitney over there.
All across Barstool. They're our favorites. So shout out New Amsterdam. That's why they're the official vodka of Barstool. Huge card this weekend. Huge.
Yep. Huge. We have, we'll probably be here for the next 40 minutes. So we can't get too much into UFC 300, but Dana did announce that he's going to announce
the main
event on our shout out Rand K2 in the Rumble gang, in the Rumble chat. We always read the Rumble chat, by the way. He said he's going to announce it at the post-fight presser, which doesn't make me feel great.
Yeah, I think a lot of us were expecting maybe like a big cinematic trailer, like how they announced like Brock Lesnar would be back for 200 or like a McGregor commercial. Hearing that it's just going to be an announcement at the post-fight presser, it does make me a little worried too. But maybe he has a video prepared. Probably not.
I mean, maybe. We did hear a little bit of Hamzat from Ariel, but it appears that's not going to happen. That would make sense from the perspective of telling the Nelk boys. There's so many things behind the scenes with Hamzat not really being able to come to America, and maybe Dana's trying to make it work.
Doesn't want to fight during Ramadan, he said, right?
It's after UFC 300's after Ramadan, but it's like 3 days after Ramadan.
Yeah.
Which makes sense that he doesn't want to fight.
You'd have to train through it.
Yeah, it would be tough.
Yeah.
But Bilal, that a lot of people are expecting, and I know Hamza probably has a little bit more power to say no, but Bilal would have to train through Ramadan. But he's fought in Ramadan.
Did that in Newark, right?
Yeah, and then he also did it back.
He did it for
COVID or something.
He did it for the Sean Brady fight, I'm pretty sure.
So, I mean,
he
got
looked
experience.
Really good. He looked great.
Looking great through it.
It's possible to be done because obviously, like, you can train at night and then you can eat at night.
Yep.
But there is also kind of like the religious aspect of where it's like, hey, it's supposed to be a peaceful time.
Yep. And you're going in and fighting and sparring and all that.
Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, if it's Bilal, I think there's no way he could say no.
Oh, no, of course not. No, he's got to say
I don't think he would want to say no either.
I don't think so either. I mean, Volkanovski at the poster at his media day was like, I'll do it. He was like, I know a guy. And I'm sure he would. I don't know if that's the smartest idea. I mean, if he goes in and knocks out Topuria in 2 seconds, maybe you could do that, but it would be tough. And also, I want to shout out, we interviewed John Anik this week. If you haven't watched that interview, go back. It's on all of our channels. Wherever you're watching this, you could watch the John Anik interview. A great one. And we talked about this weekend's card a little bit with him, how Topuria's, giving us shades of confident McGregor before he won the title. Definitely check that out. It was a very good interview. Shout out John Anik, the GOAT, for joining the show.
I thought it was our best flowing interview. Because sometimes
maybe definitely the best remote one.
Yeah,
the in-person ones are easier because it's like the flow of conversation, you just understand it better. But for like an in-person one, I thought it went really, or a non-in-person one, I thought it went really well.
Yeah, I mean, Anik's the man. He makes it so easy. Like he's just got a silky smooth voice. He just like has great answers, like thoughtful answers. He's the best.
Someone commented and they were like, he's just got one of those voices that you just want to listen to when he's talking. Absolutely. You just want to hear what he's saying.
Absolutely. And I still think Dana might have a little surprise for us.
Okay.
I'm holding out hope that he does, because Dana is the kind of person to play with us a little bit and say, oh, the media was all reporting this and fuck the media. I dropped this bomb on their head, like something like that. By the way, the Dana White Howie clip, come on, people. That has to be a skit. There's no way that's real.
Yeah, I think so too. Why would he sit down for the interview and then after Howie Mandel sucks his dick for a minute, then just be like, yeah, I'm over it.
I don't like doing podcasts, which
just
he
doesn't make- it
specifically
just
said he
doesn't make
does like
sense.
doing podcasts.
He does podcasts all the time.
He does. He likes doing podcasts now, not like the traditional media, which makes that even more so. Like that's a skit.
And Howie Mandel's not really the traditional media. I mean, he
I
kind of
think
is.
Howie's the kind of guy Dana would like.
Yeah, because he's like, when he says traditional media, he means like journalists,
Yeah.
like, and nothing against journalists. I mean,
Howie's like a Vegas comedian.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was sitting here trying to think of like going back to the 300 announcement. I was trying to think of like potential like just total curveball main events. And I got to be honest, I'm having a hard time coming up with it in my head. I'm just going to be totally honest.
Mitt Romney just put one in the chat.
Okay.
Khabib Conor at middleweight.
Yeah, Khabib and Conor at
Both look like
205.
I was trying to think of like crazy, like, I mean, Aspinall said he would, like, but like I don't know if that'd be the main event. Like, I don't, maybe like him versus Cyril Gahn. Like, I don't know. I know that's people might not like love that name brand wise, but I was trying to think of like some other. I don't know. I'm just spitballing kind of at this point. Aspinall said he's down. He basically said he was offered to Stipe. Stipe said no. He said if they call him, he's down like whenever. We watched him just take it on like 10 days notice when he was injured and still do it. So I think I could see him trying to make something with that. Maybe like that for the almost like defending his interim belt, and then throw like Leon and Bilal on it too, like a little combo. But I don't know. Who knows? I guess
Some people seem to think that the BMF will be moved to the main event and he'll add 2 stacked fights to the card. I don't think that will happen. I think him telling Kevin Iole, I'm going to announce the main event, means he's going to announce a new fight that is the main event. I don't think he would have said that to Kevin Iole if this was the plan.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I mean, obviously, such a smaller scale. They obviously just did that with UFC Atlantic City. We were talking about in the chat, but I don't know if there's any correlation. Like, there's probably no correlation there, but I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's still. I guess I could see it. Like, if they added 2 stacked cards that just weren't like that, clearly Gaethje and Holloway's the better fight.
Yeah.
But I agree with you in the sense that I don't think he would almost be like Dana never tucks his tail between his legs. And I almost feel like you'd have to do that.
Yeah. This is true, by the way, Rand. Parker Porter is still available for a fight. If you wanted to put him in there, maybe the John Jones rematch.
Yeah. Why not?
Jones Porter too.
Jones Porter too. Like, why not? Like, you could just like bring him back. We had some cuts yesterday. Devin Clark cut. Thank God.
I saw that. Yeah.
He did like what he did this weekend. That was and then there was somebody else. Oh, Abu Bakar. Abu Bakar has been cut. That's Habib's older brother. So the Nurmagomedov family. Obviously it's still around, but the Habib, the direct brothers of him are now no longer in the UFC.
Yeah.
Abu Bakar was older, and who did he lose the split decision to in his last fight?
ZDS.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this weekend's card. Before we do, let's shout out a new sponsor, DraftKings. We're excited to announce our partnership with the DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings will be our one-stop shop for all things betting. This week, new customers who deposit $5 or more can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 on any sport. That includes MMA. What's a no-sweat bet? It's like getting an offensive board. Miss your first shot, you get another chance to score with a bonus bet back.
Ooh.
You can also follow what all of your favorite Barstool personalities are betting on by joining the Barstool betting group on the DraftKings Sportsbook app.
Which is sick.
Very cool. You can see everyone's bets. It's a very easy spot to see it.
Dave's.
Yep, everyone.
Big Cats. Ev's, mine. We got to get Robbie in there.
I think I have an account, so I'm able to do it. I made an account recently. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BACKFIST. Just BACKFIST. New customers can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 if your first bet loses. Only on DraftKings with the Sportsbook code BACKFIST. So everyone listening here, that's a no-sweat bet on us, on the BACKFIST promo code. No-brainer for the card this weekend.
Yes, and obviously, if you use that code, it helps us.
Definitely.
And, I mean, everybody saw the DraftKings announcement with Barca, which is
Yep.
huge. I personally love DraftKings specifically. Obviously, it's the main partner for UFC.
I think that's great for us as well. Like the fact
Yes.
that DraftKings
Yeah.
is splattered on the mat at UFC, and now it's the spin and back fist sponsor.
And-
That's just synergy.
And yeah, synergy. Yep, good
Boom.
word. And I mean, the app, like how it looks and how easy it is to find the bets, specific bets for UFC is amazing. And I
Yeah.
think they have so many options, and I love it. So when I heard this, I was very excited, and obviously we're still very excited.
This is great. Maybe it opens the door for new things for us and the UFC, being that we've got the same sponsor now. Let's hope.
You know, they're all like going off what Jack Mack said, especially for UFC specific. All they have like every prop you can imagine. Usually always very like good lines in the props. Like just like everything's there. It's there early in the week too. They're not out on Thursdays. Like right now, they have like all the props are out. I was looking at all of them this morning. DraftKings is the best. Shout out DraftKings.
Yeah, shout out DraftKings.
Shout out
DK.
DraftKings. DK. And that stream was amazing. To
Yeah.
announce the whole thing.
Could you think of like an MMA show?
I was just thinking, what's the MMA version of that 41 consecutive shots? Like, what's an MMA thing that would take forever to do? Like grappling with a UFC fighter until you hit a twister? Like, what the fuck?
It would be impossible. Like your
Impossible.
body would break down.
I don't think there's a good equivalent. I don't know like what you could possibly say that's equivalent to like shooting a free throw.
Sparring 41 rounds in a row?
But like
Sean
winning,
Strickland would be like, "Fuck
A
yeah."
fresh
What-
body
what
every
winning-
time?
what like a fresh body coming and beating up like a tired Sean Strickland like 41 times in a row.
Yeah.
He just has to win one round, and then you have
Yeah.
to start over.
Yeah.
That'd be way harder.
50 Marab takedowns.
Yeah,
I mean, he takes you down 50 times, or you have to take him down 50 times?
You know what I think it would be? We'd have to get the machine in the PI
Yep.
that calculates the punch power,
Yeah.
and you have to like
You have to beat Francis Ngannou's
or
power
something
somehow.
like that. Like I guess that would be it.
And
well,
like
you
you could
just
use
die.
outside things. You could drive a bike into it or something.
We
Adams
just-
2509. Yes, I was wrong about Devin Clark. Sorry.
we just,
I lost money on him last.
Oh damn!
Like
he's
what do
roasting
you like? He keeps bringing this up. You were
Well, he's
right.
in the Rumble chat, so
Yeah,
respect to
that's
that,
why.
you know?
That's why last time he brought it up, he wasn't. So I wasn't. Gonna
So now,
respond.
yeah, if you're in the Rumble chat, we'll talk about it. Rand says, "Get a purple belt in one stream." Be years long. It's so funny.
We just keep bringing like reinforcements. We're just like
Yeah.
calling like MMA fighters like in the Chicago area, like please get down here. Like we're like Curtis.
What if
Blades,
it's-
please come help us? Like we need some more power down here.
How long would it take to get one stripe on your white belt in one stream if you just constantly brought in UFC fighters? Would it take a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month?
I think it would take so long, especially it depends on the person. Like Dave couldn't do it because of his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like Big Cat I think Big Cat could probably get it pretty quick. He's an athletic guy. He's big.
This is just like you want me to die. Robbie takes 25 Molly leg kicks. 20,
Oh.
bro. I took one, and 6 weeks later, I was like, I might have to get an MRI. 25.
Maybe it's like each person has to line up and take a leg kick in a row without falling.
Oh, that all right. We're on to something there.
Like each person has to like step up, and then it's like, all right, Dave, like you're up for number 15. Like you got to take this one, like, and we have like
Bilal,
our
it would be Bilal. Bilal in
Imagine
Chicago.
Dave taking a leg kick from a UFC fighter. That's so funny.
he just goes down, and like Big Cat just like goes down in the 38th kick, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh no. He
have
just,
to
like,
drop
cripples
41
them.
people in a row with
Cripples them.
liver shots. Oh, that would be. Who are the people lining up for that?
Yeah. That's
We'd
it.
be that we just
We're
died.
getting
Everyone just
increasingly
died.
worse ideas. All right, let's get into this UFC 298 card because we've got about, I don't know, under a half an hour to break it all down, and there's a lot of fights to break down. We kick things off in the women's flyweight division with Miranda Maverick versus Andrea KGB Lee. Does she still use the KGB nickname? She does,
I think
right?
so. Yeah.
You know.
I think she's just gonna get like Miranda Maverick should run through her.
Yeah.
But Miranda Maverick finds a way to get to decision almost every time. So I guess you could look at that. Andrea Lee has had moments though. Like she low key kind of beat Macy Barber. I know Macy won it on the scorecards, but like she's not awful. But
No.
Miranda is like this. Like I mean, she's just corn fed. Like just like she's like the Brock Les. Like she's just yeah. She should run through her.
Yeah.
Younger,
Andrea is
stronger.
like a perennial fringe 15.
Yeah, like she'll be around. She fights. I
Yeah.
mean, they're always kind of entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, younger, stronger, but little
Like
less
10 years
experience.
younger too.
Yeah, way younger. Yeah, I think she wins, but I'll pick Maverick. I agree with Jack.
Then we've got Oban Elliott from Wales going against Val Woodburn from Jamaica. Decent fight there.
So Val Woodburn, obviously, he fought Bo Nickel.
Yep.
Kind of got finished in what, like 30 seconds?
Real quick.
Maybe not even.
Yeah, I think it was under that.
I'm gonna be honest though. It's kind of this line's a little wide. Like I feel like Val Woodburn, I feel like may be worth a little stab.
What's the line?
I think it's like minus 300.
Oh, that seems way wide to me.
I'm looking right now. Val Woodburn is plus 245 on DraftKings at the second.
That seems wide.
Yeah, and I was kind of start the night off with a little bit. Like he's not awful.
No.
And
losing to Bo Nickel is whatever.
And he took that fight in like 2 days notice.
Yeah, he did. And I think is this fight at 185?
I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Or no, welterweight.
Because that's what I was going to say, too. He took the fight on late notice and I believe fought up a weight class than he usually fights.
Yeah, I don't think he's a bad fighter.
He's not very tall. He's only like 5'9", 5'10". So 185 is he that short even? 5'7"?
Yeah.
I knew he was short. But even, like a 5'7" guy fighting middleweight's pretty wild. But no,
5'7" with a 2-inch reach advantage in this fight, too.
Yeah, he hits hard. Like he's gotten real knockout. Like all his fights before Val were and he has like kind of like big he's explosive, like big explosive takedowns. I just think Oban Elliott's not a guy that should be laying minus 300 in the UFC. So it's one of those like with Val, like I'll take plus 250 or 245. If he dies, as they say. But I think it's a good shot. I agree with Jack. I was thinking we were on the same page.
And then we've got Josh Quinlan versus Danny Barlow.
I like this fight.
Is Danny Barlow a debuter here?
No, I think he's
contender series guy.
He was, I believe, in that fight where it was like the two best fighters in Memphis.
Yes.
And he fought a guy like he knew very well, and he knocked him out in the first round. Danny Barlow, I think potentially might be like pretty good.
Oh, this is his debut after contender series.
I was wrong.
He was supposed to fight Kinoshita in February.
And Josh Quinlan has fought before.
But he fought Josh Witt, who's like a can.
Yes.
Josh Quinlan, he in his two fights, well, one was contender series, like fast knockout over a guy he was minus like 1,000 over. And then another one, Jason Witt, was like pretty similar. And Jason Witt's like, I think he got cut right after. I think Quinlan's very like big power bust. He's coming off a suspension for some type of illegal substance, like a steroid or performance enhancer. So I think Barlow just is more like well-rounded. I think he's more like technical. I think he wins outside of Quinlan landing a bomb, which he is capable of. That's what he does. He lands power, but I think Barlow's better. And I think the longer the fight goes, I think it's better for him as well. I like Barlow. I think Barlow wins.
Yeah, I keep going back and forth with this. I'll probably stay off of it. I think Barlow does have some potential. Maybe the over 1.5 is kind of catching my eyes a little bit, but Quinlan does throw bombs. But I'm excited for that fight.
And then we're on to the main prelims. Those were the early prelims with Brenson Ribeiro versus Zhang Mingyang. 2 contender series guys, I believe.
Was Zhang a road to UFC?
Oh, he might have been.
Yeah, I think I lean him in this fight. I don't think I'm going to take it, but I would take Ming Yang.
I don't hate Ribeiro, but yeah, I have to do a little bit more.
Zhang is a road to the UFC guy.
He
won with a right hook in the first round. He's 16-6. He hasn't lost since 2019.
Yeah. This is the one that I'm kind of like, I don't really have a read on. I have to keep an eye on it. Maybe I will later in the week. Obviously, I'll update everybody like we put out our plays, but
Yeah. Or you could check on DraftKings.
on DraftKings in the group. But this line's close. It's going to be a banger. I mean, the under 1.5 is minus 300. Like this fight's going to be
Nice.
they're going to be throwing. So, and Ribeiro, we saw didn't we see him in New Jersey, Ev?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't. Is this his debut?
This is, I believe, his debut after Contender Series as well.
Okay, never mind.
Because I think he was on this year's, like he was on this past, like this summer's, last summer's, I guess, Contender Series. So he's kind of been on the shelf for a little bit.
And the next fight's got another debut. Carlos Vera from Ecuador.
This guy's.
He was Robbie. He was like Team McGregor guy on Ultimate Fighter. I'm pretty sure.
Carlos Vera was?
I'm pretty sure he was. I'm pretty sure he was a guy that was on Ultimate Fighter.
I need to see him because the UFC website doesn't have a picture of him, which is always a rough sign when they don't have a promo image.
I can picture his face. I'm pretty sure he was on Ultimate Fighter. Because he's like an old prospect. Like he's in
you're right.
He was in his
Brad Katona beat him.
Yeah, I think he's like 33, 34. Like maybe even old. I know he's older. I'm like in his 30s. I mean, he's plus 750 here.
Yeah.
First Nakamura, who was kind of like the guy who's been doing well since he won Road to UFC. I'm pretty sure he was a Road to UFC guy and won.
He was.
Yep.
And he's won a few fights since then. Like he's done well in the UFC. He's minus 1,200 here. I have no play.
Yeah.
I think Nakamura, like obviously, I think he wins like in some dominant fashion.
Yeah, he's Nakamura. I actually like as a long-term prospect. By submission, he's 3-1 here.
Okay.
Carlos Vera is I think Vera is known for his ground game, though. He is I'm pretty sure he's like a high-level jiu-jitsu. However,
all of his wins are chokes. But he's been choked out, too.
He's been choked out. He's had losses by submission. Maybe worth a stab if you're looking for a bet in every fight.
Yeah.
And so Nakamura by submission, almost 3-1. Maybe a decent stab.
And then we've got a fun heavyweight fight. Marcos Rogera de Lima versus Justin Tafa. Justin Tafa looking to break into the top 15. I believe he's fighting the 15 there. Yeah, it's the 15 ranked guy. I like Tafa. Slight underdog in this fight. I like him.
I already bet de Lima.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I think he's gonna. I'm not a big fan of Tafa.
I think his process, his general. I mean, he's just so much more well-rounded. I think if you're gonna bet Tafa, do it first round knockout because I think that's
you do a knockout for sure.
I think he's plus 240 by first round knockout. Tafa is. So I think if you're gonna bet him, that's what I would recommend. I agree with Jack Mack though. Like I'm probably gonna take de Lima as well, money line. But if you were to bet Tafa, I think that's his route to victory, highly likely.
I will say
that's crazy. De Lima was minus 260 against Lewis. Looking back at that,
de Lima, he did lose his teeth from Derek Lewis like that.
He knocked him loose.
Knocked him loose.
Yeah.
Now he's been off for a little bit, but
that was July.
Hasn't fought since then, right?
Yeah,
it was July.
That was a tough.
Yeah, that was maybe my favorite fight of last year. That was the joy I felt when Derek Lewis knocked him out with a flying. Started it with a flying knee, knocked him out. Did the suck it, took the pants off. Joe was like, balls are hot. He's like, you already know. I'm gonna go fuck my wife. Everything about that was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
That's the perfect recap of that.
It was just Lewis. Amazing.
I think de Lima, almost in my opinion, every second this fight goes further, it favors de Lima. He's a much better MMA. Obviously, he's just like a best mixed martial artist. He's well-rounded. I think he's a pretty good fighter. I think that line got really wide against Derek Lewis, but I think that line was kind of fair. Like Lewis did kind of hit a meme. Like I would have loved to see that fight a little bit further. And I think de Lima, this is his get back on track. Tafa will always be around, but but I guess we'll see. I mean, I took it at minus 140. It's minus 148 now. Still like it there.
Oh, interesting. From Nolan King, Boardwalk Hall is advertising Vicente Luque versus Joaquin Buckley for Atlantic City, in addition to Blanchfield in the main event.
Interesting.
I wouldn't hate that as the co-main or something. I'm into that.
Yeah, if Luque can fight, I think you want him on the card. He's a Jersey guy himself. Shout out Westwood.
Yep. Yeah, I like it. I'm probably gonna go.
Um,
so I'd like to see Luque.
Back to the 298 card, though. Amanda Lemos versus Mackenzie Dern in the prelim headliner. Mackenzie Dern getting right back in there.
This is an interesting fight.
Yeah, it is.
I think the fight doesn't go the distance. So this line actually opened like minus 250
For Lemos?
and a lot of people bet Dern.
Yeah. No, that's definitely wide. I think the odds right now are
under
closer.
2.5, so minus 140. I really think Dern gets a submission. I really think she gets it. A la Andrade against Lemos. But here's the thing. Dern looked kind of bad against Andrade. And like Lemos hits hard.
Yeah, Lemos hits harder than
Kinda
Andrade
bad?
too.
Really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, Lemos. I mean, Dano's respectfully, Lemos hits like a man.
Yeah.
But Jack, I agree. It's scary because I think it makes a lot of sense that people have to Dern early because I think you're almost getting like a bad recorrection.
Yeah.
Like a bad just an overstatement of like how bad she looked just striking. But I mean, we've seen Lemos get taken down a bunch, and I feel like if she gets taken down or get put in like a bad position, it can be just like over like that.
That's
So
the thing.
that
Yeah.
I worry
She's
about
gonna
it. But
piece her up on
also,
the feet. But if she gets a
it stays
hold
on the
of her,
feet-
like
if it stays on the feet, Lemos is gonna I think destroy her.
yeah.
But that's a massive if.
Yeah.
If. I almost think it's worse taking a stab at Lemos at this price. Like now it's gone so far down. Lemos is minus 135 right now. And Dern, the striking looks so like that fight was in November. It wasn't that long ago. And her striking looked horrific. So
Looked really bad.
I think at this price I'm considering Lemos, but I mean Dern at plus like 200, I think that was a great bet. Or close to that of people that got that in.
Dern's sub decision is the play from MPI. Be interesting. I don't know if I don't think Dern would her decision equity. I feel like this fight isn't going the distance. Like someone's getting a finish.
I don't hate
to say that. It always could. These fights sometimes
You're not wrong.
they'll drag on and they'll go the distance
Lemos,
before you blink and they went the distance.
We watched Lemos at the TD Garden survive 5 rounds with with Zhang.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that.
That was stunning. She's tough
Yeah.
as hell. Lemos is tough as hell. And she was
But
avoiding
you can't
submission-
out-tough
she was avoiding
a
submission
choke.
really well.
No.
Yeah, like
that's
you'll go to sleep. But I know what you're saying.
She was.
I still
avoiding
can't believe that
submissions
went the distance.
She was defending submissions very well against Zhang, though. So I don't know. It's a tough fight. It should be a good fight.
Then on to the main card. We kick things off with Anthony Hernandez versus Roman Kopylov. Another one where it's the number 15 ranked guy and Anthony Hernandez trying to defend that spot, trying to stay in the rankings, someone trying to get in the rankings. I think Hernandez is a decent favorite here. I think he's going to get the job done.
I bet Hernandez last week at minus 175, I think. Now it's up to minus 250.
Like yeah.
Great bet. Great bet.
I think it's I would still possibly bet it here. I think it's a little wide at this point. Kopylov does have that knockout power, but I think Kopilov's takedown defense is it's not awful, but people on Twitter were pointing out oh, he defended this takedown from Josh Fremd. Here's the thing. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, specifically round 2, round 3. I mean, it's he's a mythical fighter in there. He's just Fluffy's going to take him down, and I think he's going to find a finish later. But here's the thing. Kopylov could bonk him in the first minute.
He could. Bonk meter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Hernandez, I wouldn't say is on the bonks isn't super bonkable.
No.
But Kopylov is a bonker for sure. Jack said too. It's if it goes deep, goes second, third round. I think Fluffy puts it on him, and even gets a potential late finish like a sub. I mean, we've seen him do it to a few guys. The Rodolfo Vieira, he did it to him, and that was I think at the time it was the biggest. I think it was the biggest upset of the year. He was plus 600-700, pulled it off. He did it to Shabazi, and he's done it to a few guys. I mean, he's good. I mean, he's a guy that I'd love to see them like Bo Nickel get eventually. I think that'd be like a very like interesting matchup. But I agree, Jack. That's getting him minus 175 is a great bet because I still think he wins, but it's tough to lay. It's tough if you want to lay minus 250 with Kopalov's power on the other end. But I still think Fluffy wins, and I still, even at minus like it's 245 right now in DraftKings, I still don't even think that's like a horrible bet, to be honest. I just think Fluffy's very good. And Kopilov, people have brought up he got taken down a bunch by Albert Duryev like a while ago, who is not in the UFC anymore, was just like grapple fucked in that fight, wrestle fucked. And he's kind of had some pretty favorable matchups since then. He's fought a bunch of strikers. Like Jack Mack mentioned, like Josh Fremd, like getting taken out by Josh Fremd and Fluffy's just two totally different things. He's fought like DeSherico. He's fought like Ribeiro.
Yeah,
like guys who want to strike. So it's been he's gotten like good matchups. Where now he's gonna have a guy that wants to grapple, wants to like play jiu-jitsu games, and Kopilov, that's his weakness. So I like Fluffy.
Then a fight in the welterweight division with a lot of talk around it. Ian Gary versus Jeff Neal finally happening. It was supposed to be booked forever ago, finally got rebooked. There's been a lot of talk this week, a lot of talk in the lead up. Jeff Neal's plus 200 here. And I like Ian Gary. I'm an Ian Gary guy. But there's something about Jeff Neal plus 200 there where I'm like, Ian's got a lot of distractions outside the cage right now. I don't know if they're getting to him. I don't know if they'll make him better. They'll make him a pressure fighter. But I don't hate Jeff Neal here. This is the fight for Gary where I'm like, that's a really good test for you.
So I'm interested by the line, but I just think Gary's like good.
I think he's going to win, but it's the least confident I've been in him.
Yeah, I mean, like if you really want to look at it, Jeff Neal took Shavkat to the deepest waters we've seen Shavkat. Obviously, Shavkat still controlled that fight, but Jeff Neal was looking good in it. And like there were some moments that Shavkat like took some punches, I think would have dropped. Like, I mean, we're talking about a guy, Ian Gary, who got dropped by
he gets roasted about
Song Kanan.
I mean, like, and I'll give it to Gary though, he bounced back in that fight. I think this is like Gary manages distance really well. And I think he's just gonna like outbox Jeff here. But I could be wrong. I don't know if
Do you think the line's accurate? Like,
yeah.
UFC says minus 245. I'm not sure exactly what it is on DraftKings, but like, it seems pretty wide to me.
It's one. He's plus 190 right now, minus like 230 on Gary. Yeah, it's tough. I could see this going kind of similar to, if you remember, like it was a few years ago, Wonder Boy fought Jeff Neal.
Yeah,
and over. I think it was a 5-rounder. I'm pretty sure, and beat him like pretty soundly. Just kind of like picked him apart. And I feel like if Gary's smart, I think he's very capable of doing that here. I also kind of like going on the distraction thing. I love that he did his camp at Shootbox with New Bronx. So he took himself, I think, totally like just out of this country. Went to Shootbox. Like I think just locked in. I think he seems pretty like focused, pretty motivated. The whole like he said he had moved after the fight got canceled because Neal was sick. He moved past it. Then obviously the fight just gets rebooked. I don't buy into like even the mugshot T-shirt. I don't think that none of that really matters, to be honest. I think it's tough because I think Gary wins. I don't know if I'm gonna lay the juice, but I think he wins.
I skipped over a fight. I forgot Merab and Henry Cejudo. I scrolled up too fast. That's gonna actually happen before the Gary fight.
So this is like very interesting because obviously like Cejudo, he fired his coach on Countdown and he said, I'm going to retire if I don't win.
And then he said firing the coach was a troll job.
Yeah.
Even though the coach has not been involved in this camp.
And then Merab was like, I want to.
And then Merab said he's my coach.
And I think Merab's going to just like.
I think Merab's going to run through him. Yeah.
Merab machine. Like I like see a triple C. Like,
I think it's going to be one of those fights where it's like.
He's going to retire him.
Yeah, like the current guys that are in there training like for the title, like Merab, they just want it so much more.
The fire's so different. And I actually respect Triple C a lot more than the typical MMA fan. I think he's just like he really has done it all. And but at this point, I think his fire's a little bit gone. And I think Merab's fire is like as as
It's burning.
it's burning. And
Yeah.
and honestly, I really think what he did to Jan is, this isn't really a hot take, was just so impressive. Like his striking looked very good in that fight too.
Yep.
And but it's going to be interesting. Like, how much can Merab take Cejudo down?
I think he's going to be able to do it with ease. That might make me crazy. Cejudo's a fucking Olympian, and all that and everything. But like Merab's takedowns, it's just, I don't know who can stop them.
Well, it's the one thing that I'm glad Jack. I was going to say something about the Jan fight where I don't think it gets. I think by the hardcores it gets credit. I don't think it gets enough credit for because it wasn't a knockout or a finish. That was one of the best performances we've seen in a while in terms of just like total domination of a number one contender. I mean, he just melted him with pressure. I mean, the guy just doesn't stop. Like in a 3-rounder, like he can go balls to the wall for 3 rounds with no problem. He's not gonna break a sweat. He's gonna just like push forward, go. And I think he just melts Cejudo with pressure and just even if he's not getting the takedowns, like even if the fight ends up being a little like boring, I think he just is able to just hold him against a cage and kind of I think he's gonna be able to dictate the action. I love Merab here. I would lay them. I'm gonna lay them on. It's like 220.
Yeah,
it's 218 right now. I'm gonna lay that price.
We got to power through the co-main event and main event so we can get out of here for the unnamed show. The co-main event, the middleweight division, is Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa. Finally, Costa is back. He had that elbow surgery. He was supposed to fight a while ago, then wound up showing up to the fight and getting attacked by a fan. Like did a diving 5-star frog splash onto him or tried. Whittaker, pretty heavy favorite here. It's one of those fights where Whittaker is better all around for sure. But can Costa knock him out? I think he probably can. I don't know.
I'm very curious Jack back to take on this fight.
I don't know what to do with this.
There's a part of me that it's tough because Whittaker last performance was not good. But Costa also hasn't fought in like forever. So it's a weird like time. I kind of want to take a stab at Costa plus 205. I just have this.
Me too, because he also looks like he's like in the best shape of his life.
Dude, he looks amazing. He looked incredible. And he looks incredible.
He may have like not fought for a little bit for like a little juice reason. Box. Like he just like had to pick up some juice boxes. Hey, he talks about his secret juice.
True.
And I think it's possible. I think but we'll see. He's supposed to make weight, but I would say most MMA fans didn't think he'd even make it to this week.
Yeah, no, true. And then the main event, the fight we're all talking about, Volk versus Ilia Topuria. I feel almost how I said in Ian Gary. I'm an Ian Gary guy, but it's the least confident I've been in him. I'm a Volk guy, and I'm rooting for Volk hard on Saturday. I want Volk to defend that title. But there's a weird vibe in here right now around Ilia Topuria, and it's definitely the least confident I've ever been in a Volk title defense. You know, the Makhachev fights, take those out of it. I'm feeling weird about this.
I already have
the vibes in the air say that Topuria is going to be the new champ on Saturday.
I bet him on last week 2 units.
Ilia?
Yeah, and I think it was at plus 100. Then Ilia went to minus 110. Now he's like plus 110.
Yeah, he's plus 105 on DraftKings right now.
Plus 105. I may come back and put another. I really think this is like it's just, and it's not even against Volk. Also, Volk got bonked like badly
pretty recently.
Too long ago.
Yeah.
And Ilia hits hard, man. And I know he didn't finish Emmett, but he hits hard. But here's the thing. It could just be a Volk masterclass.
It could be.
It really could be. And I don't think this is like a, oh my God, like hammer play, but like it's looking like it may be my biggest bet of the year so far. I really think Ilia's going to do it. He's just so good. He's so good everywhere. He manages his distance well. He does have, there's a guy on Twitter who's pointing out, he kind of leaves the right side of his face a little bit open to be hit. But outside of that, I mean, he can take him down. His jiu-jitsu is amazing. I also think I'm really it's not like Ian Gary's confidence seems a little fake. Ilia seems, and maybe it's just because I know Ian Gary's girlfriend or wife is also like a smoke show, but like Ilia's just like his girlfriend, like it just has a Spanish model girlfriend or actress.
Super famous now.
Super famous. Sergio Ramos is going to his
He's
fucking
got 2 million followers on Instagram.
like Sergio Ramos going to his fight in Orlando is insane. Like I don't think a lot of people realize that. Like Sergio Ramos is one of the most like famous athletes of all time worldwide. Like he's like Spain behind him. I really think he's going to conquer Alexander the Great this weekend.
This is Johnny Drama says you're right, but you also just described Volk and everything you were saying about how great he is all around.
100%. That's why this is like the line is like I think it's a great indicator of how great this fight could be. And Av, sorry, go ahead.
No, I agree with you, Jack Mac. I think there's a little, you have those doubts because Volk is so good, but I think there's in sports we've seen it a lot with just someone who is incredibly talented, incredibly driven, like the hungry dogs run faster narrative, mixed with just he just has this ultra confidence in himself, this determination, this like I will not be denied. It literally just feels like he's manifesting this moment. Like he has me truly believing he's going to go knock Volk out in the first 2 rounds, which is crazy. He's never lost at one. It's unstoppable first versus the immovable object. It's an undefeated guy who's if he knocks out Volk, he's going to go from like star to like superstar.
Yeah, big time.
Instantly, if he does what he says he's going to do, he will be a superstar instantly like that. Huge star, maybe the biggest star in Europe if he does that. Yeah, I kind of think he's going to. I'm drinking his Kool-Aid. Like I'm believing what he's saying, and I think Volk too. I think I said this about Usman. I think there's something about a guy who's won a lot. Then when you lose and you get older and have kids, I think there's just something like taking the loss almost gets easier. I don't know if that's like disrespectful to say, but it's like he just got knocked out. He's lost 2 of his last 3 fights. Granted, they both were up a weight class. I just think there's something to that, like a psyche-wise, like the confidence of an undefeated contender who's also has like all the like he's the real deal. It's not just like some like what you said about Gary and him. I thought was like perfect. Like it's not like I think he's the real. Whether he wins the belt on Saturday night or he wins it like in a year from now, like he's gonna have that belt. I think at one point or another. I think it's gonna be Saturday night. I think Topuria wins. I'm gonna be betting on him.
There we go. And we'll be live after the card on Saturday night as well. So after the main event and after Dana White makes his announcement, we're going to wait for Dana to do his post-fight presser because who would watch a show over that, obviously. We'll go live, all the channels. Thanks for tuning in today. And thank you to DraftKings and to New